Children start off creative, and a variety of things happens to squash that creativity. And we're going to try to encourage creativity. It's a two-edged sword. It's still up to the parents to help the child use that creativity for good and not for evil. We'll look at several lessons. In the introduction you saw some of the aspects of it, and it's hard to teach creativity in the sense that it's not a single road path. Maybe when you took a science course they talked about observation, hypothesis, experiment, tests, and so forth, and it just goes around and around. No, it's very chaotic, but there are aspects that we can talk about and help our students with to develop a mindset of creativity that they can look how to improve things. Again, why they're improving it: for the benefit of other people or for the benefit of themselves. One is more likely to be a good outcome. We'll start off with a little demonstration. It'll take a couple hours and I'll speed up the film for you so that you don't have to watch this. We're going to watch ice melt. For instance, here's a simple glass of water, and we're going to put some ice in it. And we're going to ask several questions, but first we're just going to observe and see what is happening. And most of you know that ice floats. So what I want to do is find a place for this question. The water is right up to the edge. The table's not flat, it's right on the edge of the back, and the ice is above here. So I want you to formulate an expectation. And that's one of the things, the biggest stimulus, one of the biggest stimuluses for creativity is we form an expectation and we're either right or wrong. And either way, we have to be creative with that information. So what I'm going to do right now is sit back, think about some more things that contribute to creativity. Obviously observing and watching what's going on and taking in that. So I'm going to bring the ice right up to the edge by adding water. Perhaps you've seen a demonstration where you take a glass of water that's seemed to be filled and put pennies in it and see if you can bring it to the edge and a little higher. So let's see. I'm just going to add water slowly till it starts coming off the back. Now the water, if you look very carefully, is right on, very close to the front edge. Again, the table is not particularly flat. We'll keep adding until I see that first drip of water off the back. So the water is right up to the edge in the front, and in the back it is actually higher, mounted over. And so we're going to make one of three predictions. The level of the water will go down, the level of the water will stay the same, or the water will rise and flow over, and that's why I have this paper towel so we can detect that rather easily. So the first part of creativity is observing things around us and knowing what is natural and figuring out how we can use that. Here's another thing we can do with water. So I have what I call the drinking bird. Maybe you've seen one like this. And while I watch, I'm going to let that drinking bird have a few swallows. But right now I'm going to sit back and wait patiently, and I'll talk with you in half an hour or an hour, see how the ice is doing, and we'll point out a few more similarities in the process starting process of being curious. Well, here we are. It's about a half an hour later. Check my watch. Phone. And you'll notice that the ice is nearly gone. There's a little bit more up here. We'll pause for a second, maybe let it all disappear. But there's no water, signs of water around the edge. Now there's some water condensation because the glass is wet on the side. But the water level is just a little high on this side and right at the edge on that side because of the slope which we talked before. Your assignment, until we meet again, is to go around the house and ask why something is built that way. For instance, I have this prescription canister, and there's threads around the top. Why is that? Well, the thing closes, but suppose you have someone like me that has a little trouble with arthritis and they can't move their fingers very well. You don't want to have to keep struggling every time. It's not that bad, but they've made it so that by my judgment, I just have to make it a screw top. If there's no kids around, it's presumably safe. Find something and find out why it's built that way. Or find something that's functioning and ask yourself, why is this going on? Or maybe, what use can I use this? Can I take this, since this bird is constantly dipping into the water, can I use that in some way? Why does the ice melt and yet the volume of this doesn't change? Is there something going on with the ice and the water? If you're curious, you can start your investigating by doing a Google search, asking what is the structure of ice and what is the structure of water. They're obviously different in structure. One flows, the other one's quite rigid. So, STEM Sherpa, we're going to be looking at creativity over the next few weeks, and it connects to reading in that we're trying to bring in information and make sense of it. So, thank you for watching. See you next week when we make another video. Look at finding a better way on STEM Sherpa, encouraging, developing a mindset of creativity, of stick-to-itiveness, of curiosity. They all work together.